This is Local Edition. I am Brad Pomerance, and we are in the state capitol in Carson City. We are joined by Ozzie Fumo. He is a new member of the Nevada State Assembly. And in the same election when you won, the voters passed legal marijuana. I don't know if there's a connection there, but that's what happened. But let's talk about legal marijuana. It's coming throughout the nation. And there's a lot of talk about how quickly should Nevada get this going.
Thank you for having me, first of all. And I don't think there was any correlation
there,
but
none whatsoever.
But I was happy to be elected and serve the people of Nevada. Yeah, I think it's time to get into the 21st century here. I think other states that have been doing it, it's been very, very successful. I think the governor's plan to put 10% tax on it and put that money towards K through 12 education is going to be key for our educators.
I'm glad you brought up taxes, because there is a question about how much marijuana should be taxed. As I understand it, through the initiatives, there's the 15% excise tax to start. That's wholesale. And then the governor's looking at another 10%. So you got a 25% bump. That's right. At what point are you putting and piling on so many taxes that the black market becomes more attractive?
I don't know that could. I think with the 25%, it's
bordering
on there, but it is an extreme tax. But a lot of people who do it need it for their medicine.
Sure.
I represented a woman in Las Vegas who had a
lawyer, by the way. Mr. Fumo was a lawyer,
and she had the Dr. Reefer thing, and when she got arrested, I got about 2,500 letters from people in my office, from people that needed it for medical reasons.
Right.
So I don't think those people, and then we have the medical marijuana passed the year before, and now that we've made it recreational, I don't think so. I don't think you want to be going into a back alley or dealing with the dealer when you can do it legitimately and buy it off the...
Given that you're a lawyer, I want to ask you this. I used to be a lawyer too, or I guess I'm always a lawyer. But the Nevada Supreme Court, I understand, issued guidance to attorneys, and the court said that attorneys should tread lightly because pot is still illegal federally. I thought that was fascinating.
It really
that the Supreme Court decided to issue that guidance. Do you know, were they asked to issue it, or how did this happen?
Obviously, they were asked to come down with it. A lot of times in Las Vegas, a lot of people came to me and my partner and asked us, will you help us get a dispensary? Will you help us get... And we had to really, you tread lightly on this, because federally, it is illegal, and it could all change tomorrow with the administration we have now. And Jefferson Beauregard Sessions coming in there, and he could make it illegal tomorrow.
So let's talk about the new Attorney General, Mr. Sessions, because he has been on the record that he is not in favor of legal marijuana, medical or otherwise. During the Obama years, I mean, it got a little rocky. There were some issues where there were federal agents getting involved with medical marijuana dispensaries, but by the end, the Obama administration was taking a hands-off approach. We don't know what the new administration will do. Mr. Sessions, new Attorney General, we don't know.
Right. And for years, since the Nixon administration, they've studied the effects of marijuana, and every single federal study that has come out has said it's not what they said it would be. It's not reefer madness. It's not going to make you lose your mind. And it does have these medical benefits to it. And so that's why I think every administration, or Obama administration, does back off on it. However, this new administration is a wild card, and a lot of people have put a lot of money into these facilities, because when Nevada decided to make it legal for medical reasons, they put a lot of regulations on there. I mean, I wish our fruits and vegetables were as regulated as our marijuana. It's such a clean industry.
But as part of question 2, which is where legal marijuana for recreational purposes passed, as I understand it, there are no regulations for dosing purposes. And so I'm wondering if Nevada needs to look into that, because if you walk into a dispensary, legal, medical or otherwise, recreational, if you buy alcohol, you're getting 151.
Right.
Are we going to know this in Nevada?
I think you will. I've toured a couple of these facilities, the one in my district, and what I've seen, they have the medical side, and you're allowed by your medical marijuana card for health reasons to get a certain dosage or a certain amount of milligrams. And then they're going to do the same thing with the recreational side, where you're going to know very specifically what's in that cookie, what's in that candy bar. They have honey. And you pretty much know exactly what's the dosage. So you can eat more, you can ingest more than what the, if you have 2 or 3 cookies on there. But you should know by about what's in that cookie. You're going to know what's in that cookie by, say, the calorie intake, whatever. You're going to have the dosage right on there as well.
I want to continue our conversation, but shift slightly and talk about criminal justice reform.
Sure.
What's compelling is we have a governor who is really looking towards changing the way the state of Nevada interfaces with its convicted. And what's amazing to me is Nevada has the fewest parolee released in the entire country. And so the governor is looking at whether we need to make our parole system more robust. Because if we don't, it's time to start building new prisons.
That's right.
And so what do you know, as a lawyer and as an assemblyman?
I'm glad you asked that question because sitting on judiciary, one of the first presentations we had was from Justice Hardesty, who came in and said, what we need is a sentencing guideline, something like you have in the federal system for the state. We have Class B felonies that range from anywhere from 2 years in prison up to 20 years in prison, and it accounts for 64% of the inmates. And so what he was suggesting, we've got to do something to reduce these Class B felonies, maybe reduce the sentences in general, and help these people, the prisoners that are in there, from the day they get there, already prepare them for the time they're going to be released. We have a new prison warden who's very progressive.
Right.
And he's trying to do that, to get people ready to go home, taking classes, whether it's education, whether it's vocational skills. So, because if you can give them a job, when they get out, if they have the education, if they can get a job, they're less likely to come back. What's
remarkable also is that there are prisoners that are sitting in jail that are parole eligible, and yet Nevada, state, county, whatever it may be, doesn't have any place to place them as part of their parole. No residential facilities, halfway houses, whatever you want to call it.
Right.
I mean, we're at a turning point, it seems.
We are. We need to do something about that. We need to get more halfway houses, and that goes back to preparing them to go. One of the things that the new prison warden was discussing with the committee when he spoke was from the day they get there, preparing them to leave so that they have the money for a first and last on an apartment. They have a job ready to go. So, and if we can get them into a transitional housing, I know in Clark County they have a place called Casa Grande. When you have less than a year to go in your sentence, and it's a nonviolent, you can be presented to this Casa Grande. You can go out and work, come home and sleep there at night, and save up enough to where when you are physically released from this household, that you can go and pay your first and last at a house or an apartment.
I want to ask you about the undocumented. What we know is the new administration is taking a very strong position against the undocumented. Deportations have begun, and there's a lot of talk about whether certain layers of government in Nevada should declare themselves sanctuary. A loaded word,
It is.
Safe, whatever you want to say. There is actually a bill floated by Senate Minority Leader Michael Robertson who wants to prevent those declarations.
Yeah.
But be that as it may, talk to us about sanctuary status in Nevada.
I'm absolutely in favor of sanctuary status in Nevada. We need immigrants. This is what America was based on.
Right.
Give us you're poor, you're tired, you're hungry. My parents were immigrants. My father was born in Naples, Italy. My mother came from London, England.
Wow.
And after World War II, they wanted to go to a safe country. They decided on coming to America and made it their home.
But could one argue, just to talk it through, I presume your parents came in legally.
They did.
And so it's tricky. I mean, these are tricky. I'm a grandchild of immigrants.
Sure.
Came through Ellis Island. You know, a lot of us are immigrants, so we have empathy.
Right.
But at the same time, we do have laws.
No, I understand that too, but a lot of these people are fleeing a very, very bad situation in our country, and we've made it so prohibitive to come into this country, there is no other way. Once they're here, though, if we don't make it a sanctuary city, crime will go up, and I'll tell you why. Because if there's if there's a crime happening and you have an immigrant who's illegal, they're going to be afraid to come forward. They're going to be afraid to give a police report. They're going to be afraid to testify.
A victim, a witness.
Absolutely.
I mean, even if they're documented, they may have an undocumented aunt or cousin, and they won't want to get involved.
You nailed it right on the
Let's talk
head.
more about it when you come back next time on our show.
I would love
Good.
it.
His name is Ozzie Fumo. He is a new member of the Nevada State Assembly. My name is Brad Pomerance, coming to you from inside the state capitol in Carson City on Local Edition.
Thanks for your time.